Today's video is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and some of you have asked that I actually do, so I thought now was a good time to do it. Today's video is actually a tour of my studio setup, but why am I actually doing this video? Well, this is for the benefit of producers who are wondering what sort of setup they need to have a full-time income as a music producer. Now, I'm in the very fortunate position to be able to make a full-time income off of being a music producer, and the whole point of this channel is me trying to relay some sort of wisdom onto anyone who's just getting into the music industry as a music producer and wants to start earning money for their craft. And part of all of this is having your own setup and knowing what you should be getting and what you need to own to be able to start earning an income as a freelance music producer. So I thought showing you around my desk will give you a realistic understanding of what equipment you actually need and what you don't need to be able to start making money as a music producer. Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions in the industry, especially amongst people who are very, we'd say, the old school members of the music producing community who still believe in hardware, analog gear. Owning very expensive equipment makes you a better music producer than someone else. Let's just quickly dispel that in this video as I show you through my setup. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go unconventional, and I'm actually going to take the camera off of the tripod that I normally do these videos from, and I'm going to quickly show you around and explain some of the gear I have and why I've got it. Put this down here, and we will... Okay, there we go, we're going vlog style. Boom. So this is my setup here, completely, transparent, haven't tidied anything up. This is exactly how it is probably every single day of the week. And as you can see, it is a very simple setup. We're going to go through all the gear individually in a second, but I just really want to make this point right now before I show you through the equipment. This is all it takes to be a self-employed music producer. Nothing fancy. Haven't got any of that analog hardware gear except one little box, which I'm going to show you in a second. I've engrossed myself fully in the digital age of the music industry and try and have as much in the box stuff as possible when it comes to my day-to-day runnings and producing work for projects as a music producer. As you can see, the setup itself as well is in a small confined space separated by the screen that I've got in here, and I really like it like that. If I did want to, I could spend more money on gear, but I decide not to because I'd rather invest it in other things like getting myself a more site where I can either advertise or sell beats or sell stock music licensing, or invest in software like I did recently with Final Cut Pro to be able to improve my video editing. I've always seen that as a better investment than just buying hardware gear just for the sake of it, or any music equipment in general. So yeah, this is me, this is my studio, and this is where I make a full-time income as a music producer. Okay, when it comes to equipment, we'll start with the Shure SM7B microphone. Now, I chose this microphone because I just think even though it's a dynamic microphone, it sounds great on basically everything, especially vocals. And for the price, not only does it have that durability of a dynamic microphone, but it also sounds great whether you're doing voice for a vlog or if you're doing voice for a video, voice singing. It's basically one of the microphones that can do everything, and I absolutely love it. Not only that, it just looks so cool as well to have. Now, this mic does need a decent preamp to work properly, so I did originally buy this Golden Age Project preamp, which I actually realized after a while I didn't even need, which comes back to the argument about hardware, because the interface that I have just does the job all round. That interface is the SSL2 USB audio interface by Solid State Logic. This is just a fantastic interface for the price I paid for it, and it's got hooked up to my speakers, my headphones, so I can control everything that I need to. I've also got my guitar lead plugged into channel 2 and my mic channel 1, and that's all I need every day-to-day runnings to be able to make music. The next thing that I always have next to me is my Fender Strat guitar. I absolutely love this. I got this a couple years ago in Camden, and it was one of the best purchases I ever made. It's just an incredibly versatile guitar, and I can get any sound I want out of it. Moving on, next we've got the Yamaha HS5 speakers. Obviously I've got the pair, and I paid, I think it was about just under £300 for them, brand new, a couple of years ago. And yeah, these have been one of my favourite set of monitors. Even though I do have a bias to mid frequencies, these are just perfect. They're just all rounded, especially for the room size that I'm in. I wouldn't get anything bigger for sure. And to be honest, I had HS8s before, so I'm a little bit of a Yamaha snob when it comes to speakers, but I've just had them for a long time and I've got no intention on replacing them until they break on me. When it comes to the keyboard, we got the KeyLab 49 Essential. Again, this was a great purchase. This cost me just under £200, but this has just been an absolutely fantastic purchase for me, and it's been the best keyboard that I've ever owned. When I upgrade this, I'm going to be upgrading to just basically a KeyLab with more keys on it, because it is just such a good keyboard for the value for money. It syncs up to your DAW so well, and I don't feel like I need to spend any more at the moment on it. And 49 keys for me, for the sort of stuff that I do, the sort of stuff I produce, it just does the job. Next thing you always see on my desk is a cup of tea. I've always either got to have caffeine on me or I've got to stay hydrated, which is why I always keep this on my desk as well, because I feel like if I don't stay hydrated in the day, I'll lose focus and I won't have the energy towards the end of the day to do stuff like this or to do other projects. Headphones, I've owned these now for about 7 years and they haven't given up on me yet. I think these will need replacing the next couple of years, but these have really stood the test of time. They still sound great. These are my DT990 limited edition headphones. They're actually a little bit dirty. They're probably due a clean. But I've used these for mixing, especially on the road, for as long as I can remember, and I've definitely got my money back and then some with these headphones. I use them every single day and I still love them since the first day I've got them. So again, will not be replacing these until they break on me. Now, where most of the magic happens on my desk is actually in this here, the Mac Studio, which I recently bought. This was an upgrade on a MacBook Pro I used to own. As you can see, I am a Logic user, so I'm very Apple enthusiast. This is on an iPhone being recorded. And do you know, one of the biggest things for me that I ever did, which improved my whole setup, was upgrading my Mac or computer, whatever you want to call it, to better RAM, better storage space, because the performance of everything was just so much better. It was just so much easier to create projects every day, not to clear any space. So yeah, the Mac Studio, this is one of the best purchases I've ever made. It was the best part of £1,800, but no complaints, it does the job. And this was an investment which needed to happen. And after that, I think the last thing I want to point out is just the lighting. If you've ever wondered what lighting you need for YouTube, I have 3 lights I use. I've got this one here, which I like to keep on a sort of stand here. This was donated by my partner a while ago, but it does the job. It's like an extra third light. I've got this little handheld one which I love to use, and I charge it every so often. I take this on the go with me. I can put it anywhere I want, and as you can see, like, it's just really good for creating a little bit extra light for you. And then the last one's the big one. I use this for my TikTok lives. As you can see, it's very precariously standing there, but again, it does the job. You need all this lighting. I never realized till I started making YouTube videos how much lighting you actually need for videos, but that's how much. 3 lights. And of course, the last thing I have up there is Selhurst Park. I have that little plaque up there for the team I support, Crystal Palace, but we're not going to talk about their form at the moment. Okay, so I'll put you back on here now. So as you can see, the setup itself is incredibly simple, but again, I would not have it any other way. I've done a ridiculous amount of projects on here. I think on Fiverr alone, I've completed over 800 orders using this setup here. And still every day when I wake up in the morning and come to this desk, I'm still excited as ever and don't think there's anything that I need to add to this to be able to help me refine my craft or get better as a music producer. Because it's not all about just spending on the most expensive equipment possible. That doesn't make you a better producer. It just makes you a producer with more expensive gear. So I hope this video helped you realize that you do not need as much as you think you do to get started as a music producer. Don't overcomplicate it. Everything is more simplified nowadays. Try keep it in the box. It will save you money short term and it will save you money long term. And just on a side note, if you're someone who doesn't like clutter, then that just is another bonus as well. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this little vlog video, we'll call it. And so yeah, other than that, keep making music guys, and I'll see you in the next video.